What's up, everybody? It's me, Riva, back again with another video. If you're new here, my name is Riva. It's very nice to meet you. I'm here to give you guys my full opinions, my thoughts, everything that I feel about this video. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. If you're new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, let's just see what this video is all about.
Networking, meeting real human beings, you start to understand a little bit more of like what you do want. I think so many people's standards is based upon okay, to Jazz's point, I dated this, I don't want this. Right? I've dated a guy who was super busy all the time and made a lot of money, so I want a guy who's more flexible. I dated a guy who's a project guy, never panned out. I don't want a project guy anymore. So your experience shape you, but it's also like this ideal of like, this will make me happy if I get this. But you may have never dated that kind of guy, never ever been with that kind of guy, so you really don't know if you would be happy with that kind of guy. Like a lot of women today say they want an ambitious, driven man. My wife says all the time, I wish these women knew what that's like. Because you sometimes get 5 hours a week. You sometimes get a guy who's out of town for a whole week on business that never stops. You might get a guy who literally working till 11 o'clock at night. You might have a guy where when you're having kids and having a baby, may not go to the recitals, may not go to the football game because he has a client meeting in Tokyo. There's a whole lifestyle that comes with that kind of caliber of man.
That is so valid. That's so very valid. Everyone is like, "Oh, I want my man to have, all this money. I want him to be so wealthy." But then, based off of their lack of experience, they're not realizing that yeah, you're not going to have a man that has a lot of time. You're not going to have a man that can spend so much um waste time, basically. I don't even know a better way to say it. You're not going to have a man that can have time to waste time, and sometimes that ends up being the detriment of the relationship, because when you're doing your foolishness, right, when you are going through something hormonally, when your emotions are all out of whack, when you're in your feelings about something, this man is so busy that he's not going to have time to rectify these issues with you. So you're going to have to do a lot of self work. And a lot of women are not, based off of their level of maturity or experience, are not in the space that they can regulate their own emotions. So they will make like irrational decisions and all that based off of this man not being able to spend a certain amount of time with them to clarify the issues, to rectify the problems. And so they're still going to be miserable. So as much as they are going to have the money to be able to take the trips, to, hang out, to do all of these things, to go shopping, they're still not going to feel that quote unquote fulfillment that it is that they're looking for. Because yes, you have this spouse, but as he said, you might have like 5 hours, right? You might have 10 hours. You might have him where he is around you, but he's always on his phone because his clients are on his phone. He has a lot of business to take care of. So, I think in that aspect, that's very true. You want the man that's so ambitious. You want the man that's an entrepreneur that has different business relationships. But then at the same token, you also want a man who's going to spend all this time with you. And those two kind of like don't go hand in hand unless your man is having like, you know, wealth that he can make when he's sleeping, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is, it still takes a long time to even get there. And they still have to monitor what's going on. But I think that women do this overall. I think women, create a person in their mind that they have not experienced. Just like women, sometimes some women think that they want a husband and they want children and they want this whole lifestyle. And then they have the husband and they have the children and they realize, well, maybe I didn't want children. Maybe I did this because that's what, everyone around me has done. But maybe I'm not that type of person who actually fits in this lifestyle. Then they create havoc in their home, kids unhappy, husband's unhappy, everybody's unhappy because she has everything that she asked for, that she wanted, but then when she actually gets it, was never prepared for it.
They only think about the trips. They only think about the house. They only think about the dates. They only think about the good stuff that ambitions bring. Yeah. Because if,
Nah, I totally get that. I work around a lot. I work in the sales field, so I have mentors and stuff where like I'm not at home 4 days of the week. Like I'm only at home such and such. I'm like that's a life
yeah.
to live. Like it's definitely just it's a lot.
was when was the last time you were head over heels in love with a guy?
Ooh, like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
How much did you like your space back then?
I did like my space, but I wanted to spend some of that space with him.
Ah.
No, 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 but like
What are we talking about right now? What's really going on right
no, okay, okay, okay. That was a good one.
No.
You got me. No, but seriously, I now that I'm like thinking about it, I did want to see him
And there's no shame.
There's
And
no
I'm
shame
not
a
in
shaming
there's no
lot.
that.
shame in
I'm not,
that.
Like
yeah.
that's crazy. I did want a good bulk of that time, but at the same time, when you working on like a year or 2 years, it's like okay. Especially if y'all move like live together. We didn't live together. Like I always wanted to be there, but if y'all move in together, like
Let,
okay, you
let me.
can.
I think this exposes to how the woman nature is, right? The female nature, where a woman will say, like, women are always so strong and have so much talk when they're not in a relationship, right? When they're single, when it's so easier to say like, oh yeah, well I don't have time for a man, but it's actually just because you don't have a man and you don't have or you haven't come across the type of man that you're actually looking for, that you can act like it's not necessary, you don't need it, whatever, whatever. But he just exposed like female nature, like, okay, you're saying all of this, but when you were so in love with somebody else, is that how you felt? She's like, absolutely not. Of course not.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. And I'm not shaming. I'm not shaming that. What I've realized is that there's a way a woman can move with a guy who she don't feel strongly with.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
Yes.
and when a guy really has her whole emotions in his back
In
pocket,
his back pocket.
that that woman, all those. Well, I can do this. I could have done this. I can do that. That's all out the window.
Facts.
And so,
Toss it out the window. Off the 16th floor. It's gone.
it's all
It's
out the
gone.
window. And it does, in my opinion, the more you're with him, the more you're gonna fall deeper in love if he's that guy. So it's not like it just stops. Not like
Mm-mm.
all of a sudden you have kids and now you expect less time. You know what I mean? Not like all of a sudden you're married.
Oh
Now,
my girl, he's a father too. And it's going, all right, man.
it's like you don't want to get married and now your husband's like, well, you know how I gave you 40 hours a week while we were dating? Now I'm about to get a little bit more busier. Now I'm gonna give you 20 hours a week. Now we're married. It don't stop.
Yeah. You ain't signing for that.
And then
You ain't
so
I
signing.
so
need
to
space
me,
though. I really do. Like even if I like you, like I need a room in my house where I can just close the door
A
and
woman
go
cave.
do yoga. Like yeah, like
A woman
leave
cave.
me
But that's
alone.
I
what
need
we're
one
doing
of
now.
those too.
Because I
Yes.
feel
We're
like
starting that now.
if you're spending so much time with that person, like there's nothing to chase.
no, I
I
agree with
kind of like
You need
that.
your own
Like
life. You definitely need your own life.
no, but I kind of want like you've been gone for a while. Like dang, I can't wait to see you. Like I like that chase
and I
is
think
still
that's I
there.
think that's exactly what I'm describing. But I think I think what happens is like eventually it's like let's say there's a spectrum, right?
Mhm.
On one end of the spectrum, the guy's too clingy, super turn offy, right? Other end of the spectrum, the guy's never around, he's too working. The perfect balance is where he's gone just enough that you
Mhm.
miss him, and before you get to that point of no return where you're starting to nag, blow his phone up, he comes home and gives you all the love and affection you ever dreamed about,
Yes.
fills up your tank, goes back on his way, repeat the cycle over again. Right? That's
That's
perfect.
perfect. That's perfect.
In the real world, with the ambitious man, he's gonna lean a little bit towards he ain't gonna have that much time. And then, if he's really ambitious, each year he's trying to go up another level.
Yeah.
He might start off working at the law firm. Now he wants to be a senior at the law firm. Now he wants to be an owner at the law firm. Now he wants to start his own private practice. Like so, to me, the ambitious guy, the time don't go down
Yeah.
as the years progress.
Mhm.
You know,
Well,
sorry,
the time.
And I think that women have this misconception, like women have a very want it don't want it mentality. Like I want him when I want him and I don't when I don't. And then I also want him to be rough, but then I also want him to be very like in tune with my emotions. And then I want him to be kind, but then I want him to be kind of rude to everybody else. Like so women have this like I want this and I want that. You know, they kind of want to mold this exact person to fit every desire and every need that it is that they require or that they're looking for. You know, when I want my alone time, then just leave me alone. You know, I don't want to be bothered with you. But then when I do want to be around you, like be available. And I think it's necessary that we say like more times than not, it doesn't work like that. Relationships don't necessarily work like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have a great guy who's around you who is willing to put in the time that you say that you desire, but then when you feel like you're over it, when you feel like you don't want to be bothered, then you're going to be pushing this man away, which is kind of like sending off signals. It's like, do you want me around? Do you not want me around? I want to be around the woman who I can spend all these hours with her and everything is great, or I can spend a little bit of time with her and everything is great. Not a contradiction of me spending all this time with her and then now she's annoyed. She's like, get away from me. I need my own space. Like, I think that we also have to come to the realization that it's fine to be your own person. Absolutely. It's important to be an individual. Absolutely. However, if you are looking for something like a, marriage, a partnership for the long term, you have to be able to have a comfortable space between the two of you where maybe you guys are in the living room, maybe you just have that comfortable space, nobody has to talk, you guys are both chilling watching TV, or you're in the room and he's in the living room and you guys are still in the same space, but you're okay with that. Not just like, oh, I need to just go in the room, lock the door, no one talk to me, kind of like a shutout situation. It shouldn't be like a no one talk to me. It's you're having your space, having his space, but when he comes there, you're still there available with open arms. Because I think that can cause a problem when you're kind of just so into self and want to be alone so much. It's almost like it's a contradiction of, so then why be in a committed relationship? Why even live with somebody?
Doesn't go up.
As the years progress, it goes down, and that's where I was like, if a woman dated a guy like that, she might realize, oh, I've always wanted. Because when women say they want a bitch man, I'm like, yo, I don't think that's the word women really want. Because I know a guy who told me he sees his wife on Saturdays. But if I showed you his house,
Yeah, ain't no waste of time then. Ain't no waste of date.
if I show you 25
Ain't no
million
waste.
dollar
You gonna
house,
come out there with a business card or something.
you'd be like, oh, beachfront property in South Florida, but he sees her on Saturdays.
That sucks.
Huh?
That sucks.
Yeah.
He's ambitious though.
He's in business.
But I think
He got more
also,
money than.
But he got a wife though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
obviously it's okay.
I think
For her.
not every woman is set up for like that, a life like that. But
Would you?
there are. I feel like
Exactly. Not every woman is set up for the life like that, as she just said. They're saying that sucks, that's horrible, that's terrible, that works for them, but not everybody else is set up like that. That's the point that Hafiz is trying to prove, is that all of these women are chasing this 1% man that makes a certain amount of wealth, that has a certain amount of money in the bank account, that can fly you out, that can do all of these things. And they all think that that's the person that they are meant to be with, or that they can even handle being in a relationship with. But when you really break it down and when they find out what it really entails, they might change their tune.
there are women like us, and then there are women that absolutely cannot try at all. I feel like we're kind of saying we can try to do that. It may not be the best predicament we want to be in, of course, but I don't think no woman on earth is actually okay with only seeing her husband on Saturdays. So,
No, I agree. So I guess in the spec, and that's why I'm like always like when it comes to the ambitious conversation with women, I'm like, in the spectrum of ambition, do you what do you like about ambition? Because to me, sometimes it's not ambitious they like, but it's a man who's decisive,
Mm-hmm.
a man who's an initiative, initiator, a man who's proactive. That's what they like. Because when you think about ambition, ambition means always wanting more, always doing more, always striving for more. So that means that guy is always working more. Sometimes not maybe not harder but smarter, but he's always doing. So I'm like,
He's doing something.
if you want that kind of guy versus the guy who may not be the most ambitious, he might be a manager at a company, spent 20 years working his way up, earning maybe a good six-figure salary, but has the time to go to the baseball games, the ballet recitals, to be able to come home for birthdays. He's not ambitious. He don't want to be the CEO or the president, but he's hardworking. But
Facts, because an ambitious man, you're gonna have to get used to constantly saying over and over again, like, oh, sorry that my husband couldn't make it. Oh, going to dinners and events with, you have a plus one, but he's not going to be there with you because he has so many other things to focus on. He can't spread himself so thin, hanging out with everybody, getting to know everybody, going to every family event, spending every holiday with your families. That's just not what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like when he's around, he'll be around, but when he's not, because he's focused on the bigger goal that's going to be better for everyone else in his household, the whole family, you're going to have to get used to being the only one handling certain things. Like he said, the only one taking the kids to soccer, to the baseball games, to wherever it is. You're going to be the one that is technically operating like a parent who's by herself, right? But at the same token, you are obviously married. You do have that counterpart. You do have that help, but it's not going to be maybe physically always around when you're there. So it's like, what kind of lifestyle do you really want? And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these modern women really don't care about that lifestyle. They don't care about the connections. They don't care about spending time. They care about the fact that whenever they want to do something, they're going to have the funds available to be able to do that. Right? But for women who have, to be real, more depth, right? Who are more care about love and connection and a bond with a person, maybe you have to second guess the type of person that you want to be in a relationship with. Maybe the man will still be wealthy, but maybe it's not the same career path that you're thinking about. Or maybe he's not going to be quote unquote wealthy, rich, but he's going to be financially stable and financially sound, able to make proper decisions so that you guys have a comfortable lifestyle. But he is around for the dinners, for the anniversaries, for the kids this, for the kids that, like showing up all the time for every single thing. So I think a lot of women don't think about that, for sure. I think a lot of women just have like a certain image, don't think about the details, don't think about any research, and just want what they think makes sense, but don't know enough information to know if that's actually what they really want or not.
He's dependable, but he's trustworthy. So that's why I'm like, in regards to that, women like, I want this guy who has this plan. He has a 7-year plan. And I'm like, do you really want that guy?
They really just want protection and security. They just want money. They know that the bills gonna be paid. They can travel when they want to. They want to be fine, and they want the option to work. That's what women want too.
I
So
wouldn't necessarily agree a hundred
go ahead,
percent.
please
Now, please
share.
talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
I mean, of course, security, protection, money is a nice, it's overall like security, right? But I think still every woman wants to be chosen. So like we still want that love and the emotional side of men that's often not spoken about as well. So sometimes we get so caught up in the conversation of protection and leadership and ambition, which we do love those things, but we forget that we're also talking about we want him to be mostly available to us in his times.
Oh yeah, I thought we were talking about like men getting to the door, not
No,
staying
Chris,
like walking in.
I actually want to disagree with what she said, Chris.
Oh.
Before you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, go ahead. I think we were on two different pages.
No, we're on the same page, but
Oh, okay.
I'm on the page you're on.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking us back there because I disagree. My question becomes: women want men to protect and provide. Let's say provide for the family. How are the bills going to get paid?
You gotta work.
Yeah, you gotta work. But the thing about it is, men know that they need to show their wives love.
No, I don't
Point blank
deny
period.
that.
They know that if I get too wrapped up, I might lose that.
I understand that. Maybe I'm having a personal conversation because to me, it's like I think about this man who. Have you seen the movie Fences with Denzel?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah,
Marcus
absolutely. Duh.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's a classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
Watch Fences. There's a scene where Denzel's character is telling his son all that he's done for the family to provide,
Mm-hmm.
all the hours he's put in to put a roof over his son's head. To me, there is a time cost.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you want a man. Let's say you like. I want to live a upper class lifestyle. I want maybe a house in the Hamptons. I want a vacation house in San Tropez. I want a certain kind of life for my kids. I want my kids learning Mandarin and
Right.
Spanish and
Not
all
that
these
Mandarin.
Bro, Jose Zuniga said at his daughter's preschool they're teaching her Mandarin, Spanish, and English right now
That's
at 3 years old.
That's just
Wow.
different money.
Different money. certain name for. It takes a certain amount of hours a man has to put in to
Mm-hmm.
be able to acquire that. And because he works that many hours, he may not have as much time to show that love because he's so consumed with showing love in that way. You get what I'm saying? Let's say there's 100 hours a week. I can be a balanced guy and give 50 hours for the emotional love and then 50 hours for the provisional love. But because the provisional demand is so high, to be ambitious, to make this certain amount of money, to be able to provide this for your kids, you know, all the things you never had, he kind of cuts into those emotional hours and adds it to provisional. So where he's like spending 90 of his hours to provide and only having 10 hours left to give emotionally. So my question as a woman is that which one do you primarily want in regards to your man's and then 50.
And that's a question, like I said, that I think a lot of women don't even know. They don't even know what they want because they're so fed. They're going off of information fed to them by their family members, by movies, by TV, by society, that they really don't even know what it is that they actually want for their lifestyle, right? So to even answer that question, they're gonna still say, "I want both." Right? I want the man that can provide then has time. I want the man that is extremely wealthy and we can take a vacation tomorrow. That is still very ambitious and this and that, but he still will take me to dinner and again it's all about the lifestyle required, right? That you're looking for when you have your own family unit. What do you want? Do you want it to be where you are in a space and most of the family dinners at home your husband is not around, or do you want it to be where he does have more time? It's a no-brainer that men who are ambitious and chasing, and when I say ambitious and chasing more wealth or trying to make it to a certain level, it can be a wealthy man who's doing that. It can be a man who works a 9 to 5, who after he finishes his 9 to 5, he's putting his mind and his thoughts into his passion project. That's going to be from 6 to 11, 12 at night. It could be the man who does come home from work at 5 p.m., but he's staying up researching on YouTube and on different outlets how he can grow and he can sustain more wealth. Investors, so many different aspects of that, right? So it's not just one size fits all, but a man who is ambitious and who is striving for more and striving for greater, his time and his mindset is going to be tied up very, very differently than a man who's going to work and coming home and happy with the company he's at and kind of can like leave work at work and just come home and separate the two. It's a difference. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I want to hear your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions on this. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you are not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is at RIVAH_JORDON. A lot of people come on there and show me some videos that they want me to react to. And I'm very open to that. So if you want to hit my Instagram, you already know it's at Rivah Jordan, at Rivah_Jordan. But yeah, I post a video here every single day, but the time varies. But if you hit that notification bell, it will notify you every single time that I drop a video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you.